Alright, what's up guys? Elden Ring launched last night. I had some fun streaming it, made a drinking game out of it, and I wanted to show you a couple things because it took me a couple hours to find this, and I want to save you guys some time if you haven't started playing yet or you just haven't figured out quite where to go. So I'm going to tell you where to get the first great sword in the game, because if you're like me, you just want to go big bonk and make a strength build and just smash some guys or chop them into pieces and live that fantasy like your guts from Berserk. So after you come out of the starter area, you will find this Lost Grace here right outside the exit and this NPC. And it's not entirely clear where to go. He kind of tells you to go to the castle. Initially I didn't know where that was, so I ran off into a swamp and was fighting these giant crabs and a dragon and just getting wrecked, absolutely destroyed. So eventually I saw this castle off in the distance and I was trying to make my way over there somewhat unsuccessfully, so I tried to take a slightly different path. And so you want to go in a northeastern direction from that NPC, and you will come to this path with some guards patrolling on it, and they're pretty easily dispatched, so just go ahead and kill them. They shouldn't really give you any trouble, and then you will just want to follow this path. You can kind of see it there on the ground going this sort of northeast direction still. You'll just want to keep traveling northeast essentially, and you'll see here on the map, it kind of shows you the path, and then there's this little thing at the end of it. So here's a visual representation of where you want to go, and I'm assuming that thing at the end there is the gate that we are headed to. So we'll continue down this path. These guards, they do drop their armor. I don't know if they drop anything else. I got a couple pieces of it from them. It had quite a bit more defensive stats than what I had. So here's that gate I'm talking about if you travel northeast from that path. And the first thing you want to do when you get here is grab this Site of Grace. So if you die, you can just respawn right here. And let me show you where the first great sword is. It's in this big cart, which is right by the Site of Grace there. And I actually didn't loot it until after I killed the giant inside the gate. So if you can't open it initially, try killing the giant first. I just wanted to show you where it was, so if that's the only reason you're here, you know where it is. Let me know in the comments if you can loot it before you kill the giant. So after that, the next place you want to go is through the gate, and watch out for this giant dude up on top of that cliff. He'll jump down and start chasing him. You're going to want to lure him through the gate to fight him, because he's got a bunch of archers backing him up, and you won't really be able to deal with that and fight him at the same time. So if you lure him outside the gate, he's probably going to kill you a few times before you're able to down him. He's technically not a boss from what I can tell, but he's basically as strong as you would expect a boss to be at this point in the game. He's got some pretty big, devastating attacks. If you just kind of weave around his feet and stay close to him, that was the best strategy I found. And doing some jump heavies, I was able to stun him here. And then I started hitting him with the weapon art, and it just did massive damage. Normally about half HP, he'll pull out his sword, and he gets a little more wild and unpredictable with his attacks. Since I stunned him there, I got a lot more damage on him. Here he goes to pull out his sword, but it's a little too late for him because he's already so low. I was able to pretty easily dispatch him here. So after you kill him, it seems like it triggers this event where when I went to this Site of Grace after, the maiden shows up and gives you the summoning ring for the steed, and also makes an accord with you. Basically, the other NPC was like ragging on you for being maidenless, so he's basically She's calling you a massive virgin. This chick also reminds you that you're a virgin, but she tells you that she'll play the role of maiden for you. So now maybe you're not a virgin anymore. So I don't know what happens if you hit refuse when she offers you the accord. If anybody did that, let me know down in the comments because I'm curious. I just didn't want to screw up my first playthrough since it's my first playthrough. So I just accepted it, and then she gave me the summoning ring. So right after this, that's when I noticed that cart, and I looted the greatsword. If you're a hero, you only need one more dex to equip it. And personally, I like it quite a bit more than the axe. The axe was pretty decent. It's just having this extra reach really makes a big difference. You'll really notice it up close. And this part, I would recommend just hopping on your steed and trying to run as fast as you can through it. I got hit enough that it dispelled my steed and I got like stunned and knocked down. But like I was saying with this sword, it's got enough extra reach that you can kind of cleave several enemies at a time with it. And it's really going to make it a little bit easier to handle these multiple enemies. So you can see I'm able to dispatch these guys with relative ease. And I got another piece of their armor. Okay, so after you take care of that, you just continue up this path here, and a little bit further up this path you will get your first seed, which will allow you to upgrade your flask. And it'd be pretty difficult to miss if you're going on the path. I'll show you where it is here in just a second once I resummon my steed, which I'm not sure what the cooldown is after you're knocked off of it, but I believe there is a cooldown. So right here next to this little tree is your first seed, so make sure you grab that, you don't want to miss it. And then I haven't gone off the path really to explore, so there may be more stuff in this area that I haven't found. Continuing down the path here though, some wolves are just gonna like drop down out of the sky on you. And they were really easy to deal with the great sword mounted on your steed. The heavy attack is pretty sweet. You just kind of hold it down, and then you time when you release it, and you'll hit them with a nice big slash. For me, with 16 strength and 10 dex, it's one-shotting them. So it shouldn't really be a big deal for you. After you dispatch them, you'll continue a little bit farther down, and there's a couple more goodies that you're going to want to grab in this area. So take them out and continue down this path here, and there's going to be another site of grace, and you're going to get a stone sword key in this little hut. So grab the site of grace here, and then you're going to want to hop up on this little hut right there. That's going to be your stone sword key. And you might miss this NPC over here in this hut, but make sure you exhaust all her dialogue. She'll give you a couple things here. So she gives you some backstory on what it sounds like the boss is in the castle up ahead that you're headed towards. I think we've seen him in a lot of the promotional material, the dude with all the arms and the heads and stuff attached to him. So she'll give you this summon here, which you'll need to get the summoning bell before you're able to use it. But it's going to help you out later down the road. So that's going to be all the things I've got for you today, guys, in this little guide. Hope it helps you out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And remember to give them the D.